never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective.
Will Carlos Correa leave the Mets in this weird limbo that we're seeing? This full-on drama-filled situation this offseason regarding Carlos Correa hopping from the Giants over to the Mets, and then now possibly heading over to the Minnesota Twins. So let's get into it. But first, over 85% of you guys are not subscribed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if I earn it. And let's try to get that under 80. Let's see how low we can get it. Each and every single day, you guys have been killing it with the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And make sure to also smash that like button if I earn it, and let's get into it. He could possibly head on back to his former team that he played with, where just last year he signed a 3-year, $105.3 million contract. With 2 opt-outs in there, that's why Carlos Correa opted out after the first year, because he was like, yeah, I could definitely get a big contract, and he did get huge offers, ranging from $350 to $315, and over 10 years, but everything seems to have collapsed. It seems to be, as I've reported before, is a plate on his right leg. Going back to an injury back in 2014, it seems like all of these doctors are failing him or putting up red flags and saying, wait, hold up, there's something wrong here and we're going to have to change the language in the contract. It seemed like with the Mets and with Steve Cohen's confidence that, hey, we got this last piece and we're going to the top, or whatever he wants to say, Carlos Correa was definitely going to be a Met, no matter what. But it seems like in the past 3 weeks, the Mets have even said that it's been very frustrating to deal with Carlos Correa and trying to get that language down regarding guaranteed money and all of that. With 12 years and $315 million on the line for Steve Cohen, he's not just going to throw that money around. He's going to make sure that he is insured for all of this money, especially when dealing with a Carlos Correa, where when someone says, hey, my leg kind of felt a little paralyzed or felt a little numb, that's something huge you got to look at. And so Steve Cohen and the Mets, they're trying to work out a deal. They're not fully out of it based on what The Athletic is saying, but it does seem like the Minnesota Twins have accelerated their efforts and they are going after Carlos Correa. And why not the Twins? The Twins were the ones that gave Carlos Correa a chance last offseason, and it seems to have worked out for them. They even offered Carlos Correa a 10-year, $280 million contract. Obviously, Carlos Correa went for the highest offer, which was $350 from the San Francisco Giants. But after these last 2 teams that he couldn't end up coming to an agreement after the physical, it seems like now the Minnesota Twins have huge on leverage where they could be like, hey, look, any other team out there, you're probably not going to get a good offer. You're either going to have to do another 1-year deal or so, or you can sign with us in Minnesota. I'm sure the Twins are using that leverage full on out. I'm sure Scott Boras is trying to get them closer to $300 million and maybe more than 10 years, but I'm sure the Minnesota Twins are going to try to stick around that 280 or maybe even less. This is definitely taking a shot at Scott Boras' reputation. As you know, Scott Boras is the guy to get the deal done. And now this contract, if he doesn't get it done, it's going to look really bad on him, especially with the fact that Carlos Correa left his old sports management company to go with the Scott Boras so that he can actually get a good deal. Now it's looking like Carlos Correa is in limbo. Will the Mets sign him? They're still in on him. Will the Twins sign him? They're accelerating their efforts. For me right now, it's a 50-50. Whoever's going to give the most money is going to get Carlos Correa. And with the less guaranteed language and all this stuff, they're definitely going to get him. And I could see the Twins easily going on in with their new logo, with their new uniforms, and being like, hey, come on over. We need that big player. We need you. The fans love you. We need this more than the Mets do. And so we're going to add more of that guaranteed money on there. and we'll put some incentives and all that stuff like they did with Buxton, and it should be all good to go. I could see the Twins being able to get the deal done over the Mets because the Mets already have the players they need. This is just like the icing on the top. It's not a necessity for them to get a Carlos Correa. It would be great for them, but it's not something like, oh man, we need this player. The Minnesota Twins need Carlos Correa a lot more. I could definitely see the Mets pivoting away from Carlos Correa, especially with Steve Cohen's decision coming very soon regarding him. I could see them pivoting on over to Bauer, maybe getting a pitcher, maybe getting someone else to distract from the Carlos Correa situation. Or maybe Steve Cohen will just be like, oh no, we should be good now, guys. We're good to go. I already spent a lot of money. But that's kind of hard to do, especially when you have a fan base where you give them a lot of chocolates and you spoil them, you take them to the candy shop, and then you're like, no, actually, wait, I'm going to take away a bunch of this other candy right here. And they're like, wait, I was expecting that. And you hyped up the fan base. I wonder how the fan base will react. I'm not sure. If we have any Mets fans here, make sure to comment down below and let me know what you think regarding Carlos Correa. Do you really want Carlos Correa? Does it make a difference for you? Are you upset if Steve Cohen's like, no, we're not going to get him? Let me know in the comments down below. Twins fans, are you excited for Carlos Correa? Let me know in the comments down below. It's interesting to see different fans' perspectives. For me, I definitely wanted to get a Carlos Correa because I could see the benefit of him, and definitely the Twins organization love Carlos Correa for what he brings to the table, his mentorship. He's a talented player, someone that knows a lot about baseball, has a high baseball IQ. Definitely someone that you want on your team, but this injury thing is seeming to stop a lot of teams from even trying. I'm really interested to see what Steve Cohen is going to decide because this is pretty big. Where will Carlos Correa end up? That's the biggest question. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't mind if he goes to the Mets because we're not going to see a Carlos Correa. If we see him on the Twins, we're going to see him all the time as Yankees fans, and it's going to be kind of annoying. So he can go off to the Mets or whatever if he wants to. Either way, it doesn't really affect Yankee fans, but let's see what happens. And as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe. If I earn it, I come out with daily Yankees and MLB content. And I'll see you guys next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.